Hey, do I look okay? Uncomfortable conversation. Let's get started.
I'll go stand in the corner and think about what you did.
Hey guys, it's Zoe. Welcome back to another video from my YouTube channel. And I'm going to be discussing kind of like an uncomfortable topic that people don't necessarily like to talk about, but editing me here. So, I do sound very sick in this video. So I know it's like one of my first videos with a voiceover on it, but do not judge because, yeah, I've been sick the past 3 days and it has not been great, but just know, sorry if I'm annoying. We're gonna do it anyway. So we're gonna be talking about my cancer journey. Yeah, so I'm just gonna, so these questions, a lot of them I came up with myself, or there's a very popular leukemia patient known as Zeus's Way to Healing. Love her. Follow her on Instagram. She's amazing. A lot of these questions she's talked about previously. So, you know, I thought I would maybe credit her because a lot of these questions are pretty similar, even though we don't have the same type of cancer. Yeah. So let's get in. First, how did I find out I got cancer? That's a tough question. So basically, I was 13 when I found out. And I've had medical problems the summer before because I got diagnosed in the fall. Like, we had found cysts up in my neck or up in my jaw. I was having dental problems at the time, so I didn't think much about it. Because of those cysts, I had to take medicine, which caused me to have lumps in my legs. And it wasn't until August that I found a lump in my neck right here. It was bulging. It was really weird. It was August 30th or something. I don't remember. I found, a lump in my neck, and that was not very, very pretty. We went to the doctor, got lots of tests done, lots of IVs. I have a very bad fear of needles. We eventually found out that it was lymphoma on September 9th. That is my diagnosis date. It's weird that I have these dates, but I kind of keep them as a anniversary memory, you know, not in a bad way, not in a mourning way, but more as in a celebration way of I got diagnosed on this day, and while that's really rough, you know, I still celebrate it because now I'm in remission. So I had lymphoma. What lymphoma is a type of cancer that targets your lymph nodes. So you have lymph nodes all around your body to help drain the sinuses. Like when you get congested or something, it helps drain your sinuses through your system so you can kind of get them out. You know what I mean? So did it hurt? No, not when I was going through chemo, but there were side effects. So my throat, for the first few rounds of chemo, my throat was really, really, really killing me. And I think that was because one, it was allergy season because I was going through the winter. Hey twin, editing me again. No idea why I said allergy season was in the winter. It's definitely in the spring, but cold and flu season is, which made me think of allergies. I don't know. Don't question. Just wanted to make that correction. Bye again. And I had to that lump right there that was very, very thick was obviously depuffing and getting all the cancer killed inside of it because, you know, that's what chemo does. And it was really killing me. But besides that, most of my cancer was in my chest, so I didn't necessarily feel it. But obviously I was more worried about the side effects of cancer, of the chemo, really. What are my symptoms? So obviously the way my symptoms were was obviously the bulge in my neck. And if it had continued growing, I probably would have noticed lumps in other places, especially because your sinus area is right here. A lot of your lymph nodes will get not swell to the point that they're cancerous like mine were, but will start to, you know, like, that's why you feel puffy when you feel like when your face gets puffy when you're like have a sinus infection or something. It's because it's straightening all that crap out. Yeah. Did I lose hair every treatment? That's a great question. So obviously my first treatment, I did not lose hair because I was just getting introduced to the chemo, and because I only had 6 rounds of chemo, so my dosage was very high. Not dangerously high, but like high enough to where, you know, it could do the job it needed to. And it, like, I didn't lose any hair the first time. And the second time, I started to lose it, and we cut my hair, like we chopped it 10 inches off of it, because I'll put a pic here of my hair before I was diagnosed because it was long. We had to chop 10 inches off, so I rocked the bob for like 3 days, and it was balding, and I just went into treatment, and they were like, why not shave it? So my dad shaved my head with me, and, you know, we shaved my head, so I didn't have to go through the misery of constantly having hair everywhere, because that's awful experience. Yeah. So, well, also, after I lost my hair, if I had like a certain amount of weeks, so I had to do one once, like a treatment once a month. And so my cancer, the hair, my hair follicles would have time to grow back a little bit. So during the period before Thanksgiving to Christmas, because they're not open, like the hospital isn't open on Thanksgiving, obviously, so I didn't have to go in through a chemo treatment, chance to like grow back. So for Thanksgiving, I had like little peach fuzz on my head, and I was called Fuzzy Head. That was my nickname for a couple weeks. And then I went back in and I lost it all again. So there were periods of time where if my chemo treatment was delayed a week or something, then fuzz would have a chance to grow back, but then I just lose it all again by the next treatment because I get introduced to the chemo again. So yeah. And how did my chemo treatments work? So for every cancer, for every person, I'm sure, it's completely different. I know for me, we had 6 rounds of chemo once a month. And for that once a month, I'd go in for a week because we'd have 1 dose of chemo that lasted like a couple hours. And then we'd have like 3 types of medicine that were blended together and had to be continuously running for 96 hours, so which is about 4 days. So I'd have to have that continuously running, and then I'd have to get 1 like dose for like 30 minutes, and then I could go home. So I'd have that so my chemo schedule was like 6 months. I'm very thankful for that because I know a lot of people either have to stay for a month at a time or have to stay for overnight for every other day or something. So I'm very thankful that I only got to do like 1 week a month. You know what I mean? Yeah. How was everyday life? Obviously, because of the way chemo works, it targets your immune system as well as your hair cells and obviously the cancer cells. Because I was so immunocompromised, I had to stay home. So basically, I couldn't go to church, go out to like grocery shopping and things, but I either had to wear a mask if if my counts were low that week, or be just very conscious, very careful of like what I was touching, who I was around, washing my hands everywhere I go, you know, those kinds of things. Wasn't allowed to go to school, so I was homeschooled, online school. So what we did during the pandemic, I basically did for 6 months, except I didn't have Zoom classes, which that's a whole nother story to talk about, which I won't get into. But yeah, and I mean, like, I didn't hate online school as much as I did during the pandemic, because for the pandemic, you know, like everything was closed. But for, you know, when I was homeschooled, I could, because I lived down the street from a Starbucks, so I could go down and get a matcha every morning before I do my homework, because something nice I could do while I was, you know, homeschooled. Why is my hair curly? As I said, it was long, straight. So how did it grow back curly? A lot of cancer patients have this problem. It's very strange where, it's this phenomenon called chemo curls. A lot of people have heard of it. It's where something to do with like your DNA and the chemo mixed together, and when your hair follicles grow back, they grow back curly. So yeah, so my hair was pinned straight and now it's curly, which is funny. Which I know a lot of people, I'm pretty sure I researched this, there's only like around 60% of people's hair who ends up like staying, I think. I'll cut that out if it's not correct information, but like only a decent amount of people's curls end up staying, because I know like my roots are going back straight, so eventually it's going to be straight curly, so I may just chop the curly parts off. We'll see. For now, I think it's cute. I do enjoy my curly little hair. What was the best and worst part of my cancer journey? Well, you know, the best part was obviously, like, I don't think a lot of people think, oh, it's cancer, right? There's nothing good about cancer. But a lot of people, especially the nurses and all the organizations that are associated with that kind of thing, such as, like, you know, Make-A-Wish, you know, they do make sure you have, like, exciting parts about your treatment. I know for one, the room I'm in was redone for free. And on my birthday, which is funny, it was complete coincidence that they could do it on my birthday. They interviewed me and they were like, how about March 9th? I was like, great. Also, these shoes, I got those. They're purple and white Air Jordans. I'm kind of a sneakerhead, so. Worst part, obviously, you know, chemo, of course, but definitely, I had a lot of nausea. And this is so crazy, but I had the most random, I have no idea if people relate to this, but I had the most random cravings ever. Like, one day I'd be wanting potatoes, like tater tots, that kind of thing. Or the next day I'd be wanting pickles or apple juice or something. It was very random. It was kind of like a pregnant woman. It's funny, but, and do I have anything I regret? Honestly, I grew in my faith, but I didn't grow in my faith as much as I wanted to. Yes, I am a Christian. And so, I really wish I still leaned in on Jesus, but I didn't lean on Jesus as much as I should have and put my full trust in him, because that's obviously a hard time that, you know, a lot of people, like, don't, like, think about, because it's an awful thing. That's a whole nother thing I could talk about, is putting your trust in Jesus and some of those things that I've done. But yeah, those are some of the questions I've had, and thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.